There's a lot of buzz around quantum computing. How can we tell the difference between genuine cybersecurity threats from quantum and overhyped risk that may not happen for a long time?
That's a very good question. And a lot of prognosticators and forecasters are, on one side of the equation calling for a 0-day doom event tomorrow. And then there's a lot of technology companies and pundits in the industry, experts that are kind of harnessing their views around 2030 as the day. Okay, more or less 0 day. That's the day where the big switch turns on and potentially a massive encryption or decryption event happens. So, the facts are in academia and research, the
Mhm.
the five vulnerable algorithms have been exposed. RSA's been cracked in limited scenarios and settings in terms of research. Okay, but nobody right now commercially has access to a quantum computer on a wide scale utility basis. Okay. I mean, that's definitively the truth. I mean, IBM, my former employer, has sold a quantum computer to the Cleveland Clinic, and they're up and getting that going, okay, on a private, lack of a better term, private entity basis. Um, my other opinion too, and a lot of others think this way too as well, if there is a breach or an attack or a situation like that, likely it will not happen on a single entity or enterprise basis. It'll be more widespread, very much like we saw with CrowdStrike and Microsoft. Okay, but that was tied back to also basic cybersecurity hygiene that lacked in terms of Windows OS upgrade. Okay, and then a vulnerability that was, surfaced between CrowdStrike and Microsoft. So more or less, a similar scenario can pop up. When exactly that will happen, we don't know. But, as the technology evolves and more encryption is exposed and determined that it can be broken, that event horizon, for lack of a better term, can come. Okay, what we have to look out for is, really the thinking or approach around store now, decrypt later. Okay, we all have all heard of the Verizon breach, the Marriott hotels breach, and so on and so forth. We're all customers of these enterprises, and you wake up one morning or, once a week, whatever, with one eye open looking at your phone. Am I exposed now? Because I've been a Marriott Rewards member for 3 decades or whatever. And it doesn't happen. And you're wondering, well, when am I, potentially going to be impacted by this? Well, whoever has that data may be sitting on it, storing now and decrypting later when they can break the encryption. Okay. So once again, it could be, a cascading effect. In another example is what you see with the hyperscalers and content delivery networks. Okay, when they go down, not necessarily with a breach, but with an outage. Well, what happens when one of those goes down? For AWS, a quarter of the internet goes down. I mean, this is not something that happens every few years. I mean, it's happening more and more. Okay, so you get my feeling on this. It's going to be a cascading effect, and as the encryption becomes more pervasive to decrypt, it'll be higher impact and wider spread, I think.